it's Shannon with True Crime with Shannon, and I'm back with another video. But before we get into today's video topic, if you do me a quick favor, if you like the content that you're seeing, hit that like button, that thumbs up button for me. It helps the video get some more traction and views here on YouTube. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you would. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Okay, before we get into today's video topic, I wanted to feature a missing person, and this one here is actually, there's two, and this one has just been posted today, and this poster is from a fellow YouTube creator. She does amazing missing persons posters, and I'm going to share her link as well. This one here is Lesitte, Monique Felix, and Josiah Felix-Martin. It looks like it's a mom's son. Lesitte Monique Felix is described as a white woman, 4 foot 11 inches tall, weighing about 98 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. And looks like Josiah is missing at risk 2-year-old Josiah, believed to be in the company of his mother, Lesitte Monique Felix, 27, who was also reported missing. Josiah was last seen with his mother, Lesitte Monique Felix, during a June 26, 2022 visitation. He is described as a white 2-year-old boy, about 2 feet tall, weighing between 25 and 30 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a gray t-shirt and gray shorts. Now, that's June, so we're talking, that's like June, July, August, that's 3 months ago. Like I said, he was reported missing, it looks like June 26th, as well with his mother, and this is out of Bakersfield, California. So for those of you on that West Coast, but considering it's 3 months now, I mean, they could be anywhere. And there's the case number there underneath the photo to your left if you need the case number. They're asking if you have any information, please contact the Bakersfield Police Department. Their number is 661-327-7111, or of course you can call 911. This is an urgent case, obviously, because it's a mom and a young 2-year-old. So if you know anything about these two missing mom and son, please do contact the authorities so they can be brought back and make sure that they are safe. And there is True Crime with Sunshine, and there is her YouTube channel, and she's also on Facebook. I will be linking to her in the information to this video. But again, I wanted to focus here on, this is Lesitte and Josiah Felix-Martin. So we are now talking again about the Harmony Montgomery case. It looks like Adam, her father, her biological father, another channel, I really love how she refers to Adam. They call him Teardrop because, of course, you guys will see the teardrop underneath his eye. So I kind of like that nickname for him. It seems to fit, don't you think? So Adam, aka Teardrop, his new lawyer team, has got some problems with the way that they claim the police ignored. That he didn't want to speak when they initially, basically got him and his girlfriend when they were in that vehicle early on in the investigation for Harmony, and he claims they forced him to talk, they pressured him. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to feel sorry for this guy. That's my opinion. Because you guys, if you watch my videos, I really believe that this Adam, aka Teardrop, if he didn't kill Harmony, my opinion, of course that's not a factual situation. I believe that he knows exactly what happened to his little girl, and it disgusts me beyond. So let's see. This is out of the Union Leader. Okay, it says, defense lawyers for Adam Montgomery, the jail Manchester father of homicide victim Harmony Montgomery, have asked a judge to throw out 2 police interviews, claiming police ignored his refusals to talk and eventually convinced him to do so. I have a hard time feeling sorry for him, guys. I really do. I find it hard to believe that, Mr. Teardrop here, they forced him to talk. I really do. In court filings, veteran defense lawyer Carolyn Smith wrote that police pressed and badgered Montgomery, 32, to speak with them during encounters on New Year's Eve and January 4th, when the search for Harmony was in its infancy. Quote, "Now's your chance, man. Defend yourself," police said at one point. Well, let's be honest. They're giving him an opportunity to defend himself. Smith also wants any evidence obtained from Montgomery's track phone suppressed. So they don't want anything from his cell phone to come in. Let's see what's going on with that. For 8 months, police have engaged in a high-profile search for Harmony, who vanished in late 2019 at the age of 5. Earlier this month, Attorney General John Formella announced the authorities believe Harmony was murdered in December 2019. Legal battles of Montgomery's estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, have played out in courtrooms. Yeah, she's an in and out kind of gal. She's in jail one day, out the courtroom the next day. But Adam Montgomery's case has been relatively quiet since early January, when he was jailed on charges that included felony assault of Harmony in July 2019 and misdemeanor child endangerment and interference with custody charges. 3 months later, authorities brought felony theft and weapons possession charges against Montgomery. Those charges do not appear directly related to Harmony's disappearance, but they could land him in jail for decades, especially 2 armed career criminal charges that carry a mandatory minimum 10-year prison sentence. I would like to see him charged for Harmony, because I really believe he did it, but whatever it takes to keep him behind bars is good for me. Defense lawyers often try to convince judges to throw out or suppress statements that would hurt their client. Smith's filings provide no indication of what, if any, incriminating statements Montgomery made. Yeah, I don't recall hearing anything that he said. Even, neither he or Kayla's really talked. The two of them seem to be like, they don't want to talk. The lead prosecutor in the case, Senior Assistant Attorney General Jesse O'Neill, has obtained extensions to deadlines to answer Smith's motions to suppress. He did not respond to an email seeking comment for this article. Montgomery's first encounter with detectives searching for Harmony was on New Year's Eve, when police found Montgomery and a girlfriend living in a car in a Harvell Street parking lot in Manchester. Police told them he was not under arrest and they had no warrants for him. Montgomery told them he had nothing to say then. When Montgomery made it clear he did not want to engage in the encounter, that he was asserting his right to silence, he was ignored and questioning intensified, Smith wrote. She said Detective Jack Dunleavy was, quote, combative and accusatory. At another point, he asked Montgomery, can't even be a man, asked why Montgomery can't even be a man, according to the filing. Well, detectives asking the hard questions. When Montgomery explained that he had left Harmony with her mother around Thanksgiving 2019 because they were living in a car, Detective Dunleavy confronted him with prior statements that detective interpreted as inconsistent, the filing reads. Other statements stem from a police interrogation of Montgomery on January 4th after his arrest on assault charges. Montgomery said he was not responsible for the marks on Harmony and then said he had nothing else to say and folded his arms across his chest. Yeah, big guy. I don't have anything to say. Come on, Adam. Come on, I agree. I have to agree with that detective. Be a man. Sadly, I guess, the law gives him the right to remain silent. I'm hoping that the detectives really did dot their I's and cross their T's on this one, guys. Because we don't want anything to be thrown out. Police waited about 8 seconds and said they were worried about Harmony, the filing read. Dunleavy said, but wouldn't you rather explain it so we can make sense of it, rather than just have other people's side of the story, like you want to defend yourself, and like this picture that people are painting of you. Now's your chance, man. Defend your... Montgomery interrupted. Whose side of the story? Who's telling you these things? Smith wrote that Dunleavy successfully got Montgomery to answer questions, ignoring his right to stay silent a couple of more times. The third suppression issue deals with Blueville Blueville 3 track phone. Those were a Blueville 3 track phone that police seized on December 31st. It's ours now, Dunleavy told Montgomery that day. Police waited an entire month before obtaining a warrant to search the phone, even though they were only looking for evidence of a possible crime between December 27th and 31st. They convinced a judge to let them search the entire phone. According to the search warrant application, the phone would show evidence of indirect criminal contempt. That appears to involve contact between Montgomery and Kayla on December 29th, 30th, and 31st, the early days of the investigation into Harmony's disappearance. Police believed Montgomery was under a court order to have no contact with Kayla at that time, Smith wrote. Neither Montgomery has been charged with that crime. Smith faults police for holding onto the phone for 31 days before seeking a warrant to search it, and she faulted the warrant for not limiting the scope of the search to conversations between Montgomery and Kayla Montgomery. Jury selection on the theft and weapons charges is scheduled for November 7th. No trial is scheduled for the Harmony-related charges. A status conference is scheduled for October 27th. Okay, so they want to throw out not only his statements that he made to police, where he claims that they forced him to talk. You know, I know police use some tactics to persuade people to talk, but I don't know about forcing him. The sad thing is, once they ask for a lawyer, that gets a little sketchy. As far as the phone's concerned, I really hope they got that warrant and everything. Everything is, like I said, dotted those I's, cross those T's, guys, because, you know, that phone, if he's so concerned about that phone and his attorney is all on that phone, something's on that phone that it's incriminating. Was he just talking to Kayla? Was he talking to the girlfriend who, as we know, is now deceased? Who else was he talking to? Was he talking about Harmony? Was he talking about Kayla, any of the other children, these gun charges, whatever? There's something on that phone, or some things on that phone, that Adam does not want the police and the attorneys to have with the state against him. It's incriminating enough that he's got his attorneys to, you know, make these filings. There's just something on there. I mean, like I said, I don't know what it is, but man, I'm anxious to find out, aren't you guys? I really think that he's talked to Kayla or that girlfriend who, somebody about, you know, Harmony on there. I really believe it. I mean, what happened to Harmony? Is there answers on that phone? I don't think there's clear enough answers, because I think the authorities would know that. But there's probably something really, really incriminating on there. And man, do I want to know what it is. But I also have the documents that have been filed. So let me pull those up. So here are the documents that were filed. These were actually filed yesterday, 8/24. Looks like 11:57 a.m. at the Hillsborough Superior Court. Thanks to the docket on Twitter for getting a hold of these docs. I'm going to be linking to their Twitter account if you guys want to check them out. Amazing. They always get all the documents, usually before I can even possibly find them. Okay, so this one here says the state of New Hampshire, Hillsborough County Superior Court North, state of New Hampshire versus Adam Montgomery, and looks like those are the chart, like looks like, I guess, 216, those are the cases, I guess, suppose there. Okay, these are the motions here that his lawyer has filed. So these are all the motions. All right, motion. Okay, motion, allegations of prior or subsequent bad acts. Now comes Adam Montgomery by and through his public defenders, Carolyn L. Smith and Paige Montgomery. That's interesting. I'm sure that's entirely coincidental, right? And respectfully moves this court to issue an order precluding the state from introducing evidence of other alleged bad acts by Montgomery. This motion is made pursuant to NHRE 402, 403, and 404B. In support of this motion, the following is stated. 1. The defendant is charged in docket 216-2022-CR-20 with second-degree assault 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child or incompetent and interference with custody. In a separate docket 216-2022-CR-577, he is charged with 2 counts of armed career criminal. 2 lesser included charges of felon in possession, 2 counts of theft, and 2 counts of receiving stolen property. Herein the gun charges. Okay, those are the gun charges. Number 2, at the state's request, the gun charges have been scheduled for trial in November 2022, prior to docket 216-2022-CR-20. Discovery for the gun charges has been provided separate from the discovery provided in 216-2022-CR-20. Both sets of discovery include allegations of prior or subsequent bad acts unrelated to the gun charges. The state has not filed a motion to introduce these allegations of bad acts, and presumably the state has no intention of doing so. However, let's pull up the next page. So this is actually, looks like a 4-page motion. Okay, the first page said, however, and then we go into page 2. However, in the interest of caution, Mr. Montgomery files this motion. The allegations include, but are not limited to, A. Allegations of conduct underlying the charges in 216-2022-CR-20. B. Allegations Montgomery abused, misused, or caused harm to Harmony Montgomery outside the allegations in 216-2022-CR-20. C. Allegations of domestic violence. D. Allegations of assault and or assaultive behavior. E. Allegations of involvement with illegal drugs. F. Allegations of involvement with deadly weapons or other than the weapon charged offenses. G. Allegations of theft other than the charged offenses. For some reason there's 2 G's here. And prior convictions other than those included in the amended indictments. 4. The purpose of Rule 404B in a criminal trial is to ensure the defendant is tried on the merits of the crime as charged and to prevent a conviction based on evidence of other crimes or wrongs. Evidence of other wrongs is inherently prejudicial and increases the likelihood that a jury will decide the case on an improper basis. The concern that a defendant might be convicted because of his character is the gravamen of Rule 404B, which 404B State versus McClue 139 and H 505 1995 citations omitted. For each evidence to be admitted, the proponent of the evidence must show that A, the evidence is relevant for purposes other than proving character or deposition. B, there is a clear proof the evidence is true. And C, the prohibitive value of the evidence must not be substantially outweighed by its prejudice to the defendant. ID at 507. Bad act evidence includes acts prior to and subsequent to the charged acts. See State versus Richardson 103 and H 162 1993. The state must state the specific purpose for which each offense is offered and must articulate the precise chain of reasoning by which the offered evidence will tend to prove or disprove an issue in actuality to dispute without relying upon forbidden interferences of predeposition, character, or propensity. McClue at 509 to 510. In articulating the state's burden, the Supreme Court stated the proponent of such evidence cannot simply give. Okay, next page. A mechanical redaction of 404B as a basis. A mechanical resignation of 404B on a basis for admissibility. The state may not merely parrot the grounds set forth in the rule. Rather, it must articulate precisely how the fact of consequence may be inferred from the evidence sought to be admitted. ID at 509. Man, this legalese gets me tongue-tied, guys. Sorry. In 6, an evidence In addition to proving an issue without relying on the prohibited character interferences, the evidence sought to be introduced must relate to an issue that is actually disputed. Specifically, the state must articulate how the evidence will tend to prove an issue in dispute without relying upon, quote, forbidden inferences of deposition, character, or propensity, ID at 510. Thus, evidence tending only to prove an issue not actually in dispute is irrelevant and admissible under Rule 402. 7. If the state meets its burden, the court must then balance the prohibitive value against the prejudice admitting such evidence to the defendant. Evidence is unfairly prejudicial if its primary purpose or effect is to appeal to a jury's sympathies, arouse its sense of horror, provoke its instinct to punish, or trigger other mainstays of human action that may cause a jury to base its decision on something other than the established propositions in the case. 8. In this matter, the state clearly has not met the McClue criteria, as it has not noticed an intent to introduce any other bad acts evidence pursuant to the rule of criminal procedure 12b IF, requiring notice 45 days after not guilty plea, nor can it meet its burden under any of the 3 factors necessary for admission. Thus, all allegations of prior or subsequent bad acts must be precluded pursuant to NHRE 402, 403, and 404B. 9. If the state should be seeking to introduce any bad acts evidence, it should be required to state with specificity the evidence it seeks to introduce and the McClue criteria admissibility as soon as possible, so the matters may be researched, investigated, and challenged well in advance of trial. Whew! Tongue-tying words. All right, we have one more page. Okay, last page. 10. The state currently has an extended response deadline to recently filed defense motions of August 25th, 2022. Mr. Montgomery requests that any such notice with the attendant McClue factors be filed by September 6th, 2022, and that any bad acts not contained in the notice be precluded at trial. Of the alleged conduct contained in any such notice, Mr. Montgomery requests a hearing. Wherefore, Adam Montgomery respectfully requests this honorable court: A. Preclude evidence of prior or subsequent bad acts of conduct, or B. Preclude evidence of prior or subsequent bad acts or conduct if not noticed by the state by September 6, 2022. C. Hold a hearing on any prior or subsequent bad acts or conduct noticed by the state. And D. Grant any other relief the court deems just and proper. So, of course, it's signed by his lead attorney there. It looks like Carolyn Smith. So that is their motion to get all that stuff suppressed and not be a part of that case. So we shall see what comes of that. Looks like we'll know beginning early September on that. So I sure hope, like I said, that law enforcement really got all their ducks in a row and all that sort of stuff, and hopefully we don't lose any more, any of the evidence and interviews that they did conduct with Adam throughout this time. And I mean, especially that cell phone. It seems to me that cell phone is, if he's so upset about it, from what I heard, they asked if they could hold his cell phone. Then and they took it, and then he got arrested for other charges. So, and then I guess he's claiming through his attorney that they looked through it before they got a proper warrant, and it did not contain the necessary requirements for accessing all that data. So we shall see what comes of that. So what do you guys think? I guess Adam is really trying hard, and I guess as much as I dislike him, because I'm not a fan of Adam, aka Teardrop, and he's not any. He definitely wasn't a good dad in my personal opinion. And he's got other kids, And, he really does, and it's sad. And I know Kayla has other kids with him, and from what I understand, her children with Adam, because Harmony had half siblings, and she has a brother who was adopted by two gentlemen who were very loving, two fathers, and sadly they wanted to adopt Harmony, and state just didn't let them do it. And there's a judge, which I'll get more into, that granted Adam this custody of Harmony. So that's something that's really screwed up, guys. So but these two fathers wanted Harmony with her brother, and and they did not grant that. And she was also in a good foster home, and and they took her out of that. She really didn't know her biological father Adam very well, and there's a story that he had her cleaning the bathroom floor with a toothbrush, which I believe he learned in jail. So, my opinion, not a quality father parental figure whatsoever. And Kayla, of course, she's another winner, And Crystal, while it's nice that she got clean and everything, she really sadly did not do much for Harmony either. And I mean, you feel kind of bad for her, but you know what? She let it go for all that time too. All of a sudden, she decided, hey, I don't know where my daughter is. So, I mean, up to this time, nobody knew where Harmony was. I mean, it's just like, oh, he has him or she has him, nobody cared for this poor little girl. So, I mean, it's a really bad situation, and not just the parents, but the state, horrible, horrible situation. So, let me know what you think of this situation with Adam. I'm sure we're going to hear more about Kayla soon, because, she seems to, like I said, she's a revolving in and out of prison and court as well. So, I know they've been trying to get her to talk for a while. So, maybe one day she'll talk. I don't know. So, we'll see. So, I want to thank you guys for checking out the video. Let me know what you think in the comments, like I said, of Adam in this case. And I'm going to keep following it all the way through. I really was hoping they found her alive, and this just sickens me. It really does. I mean, at this point, I want somebody to tell us what happened to little Harmony and find whatever remains are left of her, so she can be put to rest. I mean, poor little girl, really, she just didn't stand a chance. She really didn't, with the family that she was given. So thank you guys again, and on your way out, hit the like button if you would, and I appreciate you, and stay safe.